Yes, I can. I can learn and speak English. It's a topic very close to my heart because a lot of my GMC students that I've encountered in the last 5 years have not been able to keep up with the English bus because of the fact that they've been not schooled in a Lamatnios or a Loreto house, but rather a Sri Jain Vidyalaya or a Maheshwari school or a Purulia Bengali medium school, and then suddenly out in the professional world there is this group discussion, there is this interview which requires chartered accountants and MBAs to actually speak fluently in English. So what do we do? Let's crack it. So this is Anurag on this channel. I will share the little tips that I know. Please subscribe to this channel and let others also know about this, because then it's going to really encourage me to create more content. So English is actually a very funny language. You can walk English, you can talk English, you can run English, said Amitabh Bachchan. See, because West and West, basically both of them actually pronounce the same, this V and this W. So how does someone who is not really a native speaker, so typically in the US, you call such people as the ones who use English as a second language, ESL. So, do you think English is not fluent to survive in today's time? Think again. If you are skeptical, let me tell you a story of someone whom you'd almost certainly know. He knew very little English when he decided to move to America. He took every type of English class that you could think of, speech lessons, writing lessons, even accent removal lessons. Through hard work and perseverance, he ended up becoming one of the richest and the most powerful men in the country. You might also know him as Arnold, the famous Hollywood actor and the former governor of California, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Just imagine. His story shows that what you can achieve when you work hard at something. And he's not the only one who's started a successful career with little or no English skills. So when it comes to this iconic character, what was his success mantras? He recognized that if he wanted to learn English well, he had to be surrounded by as much English as possible. So he took English classes in order to be able to read newspapers and magazines and to be able to take classes in other subjects. He also wanted to do this so that he could learn as much about the American culture as possible. So immerse yourself in those newspapers, in those magazines. So he practiced English wherever he could. When he moved to California, he worked at a fitness store, so that those customers who came in and out, inquired about products, he could practice English with them. He also went to London to live for a while with a former judge from the Mr. Universe contest. He spent time with his family, including his children, because he wanted to understand. So he surrounded himself with English. In America, he spoke only to those people who spoke English. He states in an autobiography, that's Total Recall, that I made it a rule that to date only American girls. I did not want to hang around with girls who knew only German. That was his determination. Penelope Cruz, from a Hispanic starlet to a Hollywood star. Even today, she has someone to help her with her English. At the beginning of her career, she learned skips phonetically and gradually built up a vocabulary. Today, she's come to a point where she's able to conduct interviews in English and communicate fluently. She still has a voice trainer for her. When she's not working on films, she continues to study English to improve her skills. She made sure that she memorized her skips, important phrases. So even if she didn't know what certain phrases meant, she knew that she could read them phonetically and knew when to convey the right emotion when filming. So she's a Spanish and now one of the most successful Hollywood heroines. She admits during interviews that she made many mistakes when she spoke English. Some mistakes she claims were so embarrassing that she learned the hard way. So for example, the funniest one is when she accidentally made sexual advances at a hairdresser when she tried to get her hair styled. Still, she kept speaking English. Shakira, she sang her way to success. She was not a native English speaker, but she was so motivated to do so that she wanted to write her own songs in English for her new album. So when she actually gave an interview to MTV, she said, I had the need and the urgency to express my ideas, my thoughts, my feelings. I had to express all of them as if I was going through in another language and expressing in the other. So it was challenging, but she was determined to make it work. She was willing to work very hard to write her own songs and was willing to write for hours to craft songs that she was satisfied with. Another reason she was successful is that she knew that she needed to study in order to write English songs. So she learned the sounds first, how it worked rhythmically, and then used her skills in grammar to express herself in songwriting. There was a tutor who helped her in how English grammar went. She even read Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass and other works of literature. So imagine a non-native speaker trying to read everything that she could lay her hands on, only because she wanted to understand every nuance of speaking English. She wrote and spoke the best of English. Look at this guy. He's from our downtown Bombay. Ravi Kumar started selling the peacock fan made by his grandmother on the streets of Mumbai at the age of 8. At that time, this boy from Gujarat knew only one language, that's Hindi. But he realized that, if he really wanted to sell these peacock feathers, he would have to speak the language of the people who visit Mumbai. So he talked to many tourists, picked up a few words here and there, so that he could talk in their own language and impress them so that they bought his peacock feather fans. So now he can speak 10 official foreign languages: English, German, Spanish, Italian, French, Japanese, Arabic, Chinese, Russian and Italian. You could have even seen his TED talk at Sabarmati, where he really spoke about what really made him like this. Friends, my objective of first coming up with these examples was to drive home the point that your history has no relevance to your determination to speak in English. So how do you learn to speak or write in English effectively? Don't sit at a table looking at your notebook. That is not the best way to study English, because your mind is not actively using that information. Practical learning is not happening. So be surrounding yourself by an environment of English. Write a journal. Write every day to see where your grammar is actually improving day by day. Express your ideas. Get it corrected by someone and then read it aloud. So then recopy the corrected journal so that you have the experience to write your own ideas. So please start writing your reflections on life. So it has rained. So try to write a small essay on what it feels to experience the first rains in Calcutta. Does rains evoke romance? I'm sure you will make mistakes. Fine. Correct those mistakes and move on. Read a book. By reading a story, you can create a picture in your imagination. This will connect different parts of your brains to English. Find a book that's not so difficult. Don't start off with 5.7 for sure, but yeah, there are definitely books which can be graded to help you move up the pyramid. And don't stop every time you find a new word. So this is one clear tip that I want to give you. Just imagine what would be the likely meaning, continue reading, and then check your dictionary at the end. Otherwise, that momentum will never come where you'll be able to read uninterrupted. And if you don't want to read a book, use materials from real life. Arnold read newspapers. Penelope read movie scripts. Shakira read English language books. These are examples of material from real life. Reading textbooks can be useful, but maybe it can become a bit boring for you. So find a subject that you are interested in, for example, fashion, technology, cooking, and then find books or magazines on that particular topic. The more interested you are in the reading materials, you'll find that you really want to read it more. So if I'm interested to read about the origin of cricket, so I'll find English magazines that help me in that way. So the idea is to learn as much English as possible, and you are agnostic about the source per se. Watch TV and movies. Watching English television programs actually helps a lot. Even if you don't understand anything, you will still be able to gather a lot of content, even if you understand only 30% of the content. Your listening ability will improve day by day, and trust me, it's fun. So please watch a BBC, watch a debate on CNBC, watch a Republican TV. A lot of things you will not be able to understand, but still the 30% that you understand, it will really work wonders for you. The idea why I am conducting this speech in English and not in Hindi, while I know that the majority of my audience will be in Hindi, is because I want you to get immersed in the idea of English. Keep a vocabulary. So this is very interesting. We used to do this in class 6, 7, 8. Every day we had a homework to find 5 new words, 6 days a week. So you are essentially learning 140 words a month. And then 10 words a day will take it to 280 words a month. So by subject, think of those words which are connected to your hobbies, to your interests, and build that vocabulary notebook. It really helps. You used to get caned if we didn't maintain that book. But today in retrospect, it really helps immensely. So do it this way. Think of a word that you know in your language. For example, khwaish in Hindi. Now look it up in your dictionary. If you can find the English word, write it down on the left side. In the middle side, then you find out the English equivalent, English to English. Write out the definition on the right side. Copy a sentence from the dictionary so that you know how to use it. It's not just good enough to just know. So for example, desperation as a word. बेचैनी को आप desperation बोल सकते हैं to an extent. Then you learn how to use that in a particular sentence and then practice reading this sentence unless it becomes natural to you. So that's the idea. Then speak a lot of English with your friends. You can improve your spoken English by speaking English in different situations with friends of all nationalities. If you want to speak English better in the future, speak the tuta futa English. The English which is full of grammatical mistakes doesn't matter. But speak now so that you can improve for the future. Then think positively. People who say I can't speak English well, let them be corrected. Every day remember and tell yourself that my English is getting better and better. And trust me, if you can repeat that every day, I am getting better and better, it will really make a huge difference. And have fun, guys, because if you have fun, it will be far easier. And also there are these apps, for example, Fluent too. I'm not promoting these apps, but what I saw them was like they have these engaging videos like the popular talk shows, like the TED Talks, music videos, funny commercials. The idea again is to live the English life. Also, for example, they will have, you can tap on any word to see an image. The definition, so example, brought is to take something or someone to another place. So a funny image is where he brings his ice cream home. And then you use understand the usage. John brought a gift for her. I brought a pie for dessert. Then you have this vocabulary in any video with quizzes. So buildings can dash after a fire. You have collapse, decoded, step, fusing. So then the idea is to fall inward to come apart. So the answer will be collapse. So it's like interactive learning. Or maybe an app like Mosa Lingua. So what does this do is that the common problem many English learners face is forgetting a word after some time. So while this is normal for anyone learning a new language, it can be very frustrating कि मैंने कुछ नया word सीखा and I am not able to recall. So then scientifically they use this method called SRS, which is spaced repetition software. So you repeat the same meaning at some particular gaps of time. So it's a software that's designed to help you review words just before you'll forget them. So let's say you forget a word 3 months after you learn it. It will help you review those words maybe a week or two before you forget. So that's the magic of this particular app. Then let's say this app called Memrise. So what does it do? It's built on 3 scientific principles: elaborate encoding, choreographed testing, and scheduled reminders. So what exactly this is? Elaborate encoding is the commonest way people try to learn facts, concepts, vocabulary is to simply read material in the hope that our brain will automatically register it. But I'll read it and the brain is obligated to register it. But decades of memory research has shown that this is a remarkable, slow and ineffective way of learning. And one of the main reasons for this is that it doesn't encourage elaborative encoding, which means relating what we are trying to learn to something that we already know. So then it is building up on your existing knowledge. It is not bouncing off something new to your brain. Trying to connect it is like moving in a forest with the paths. So it becomes stronger. So that's elaborative encoding. Then you have this choreographed test. When you test your memory, you're not assessing how well you've learned something. So provided you pass the test, you are giving another boost to your memory. So regular tests will invigorate what you've learned. So whatever information that you learn, they will continuously make you recall it. So that's the beneficial part of this choreographed testing. And then scheduled reminders, because memories fade over time. So then what they'll do is, they will give you simple reviews that what does aburrido mean? It means boring, but you'll forget. So the test and the scheduled reminders will help you retain this knowledge for a better point. And if you're looking for another way to learn English that's effective but also fun, then these English apps could be used, because they're designed for a specific audience with their own strengths. So depending on what you need, you can try out these apps. Even British Council has an app where you can learn English grammar through an interactive method. You will cover 12 grammar topics with 20 activities per topic for English learners of all language levels. A new language app called ELSAspeak.com, which is using artificial intelligence to help people improve their pronunciation, and this is recommended by Forbes. So this will analyze your speech, pinpoint exactly where your errors are, which are those vowel or consonant or stress, and give you recommendation on how to move your lips or tongue differently to correct those errors. So there are 400 lessons packed with 2000 plus words, phrases and conversations around daily English topics. So for example, preparing for an interview, ordering food at a restaurant, booking flight ticket, or even advising on what you should say on your first date. So this is artificial intelligence. So Elsa can be quite useful for you. For spoken English, you must be first good in English vocabulary. So Hello English or Hind Coach, Google Assistant, Google Now Talk, Launcher Talk. So a lot of such apps are now. And remember, success cannot come overnight. So immerse yourself in English. Let's say even for 5 minutes every day. Even something as small as that can help you become fluent English in a short period of time. All the best, friends. In case you've got any questions, please leave behind in the comment section below. Thank you so much.